Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's still Engendered, reaching live from the nation's capital in Abuja. And just as you know, what we do on Engendered, we bring you a discourse regarding the female aspects of life, what transcends in the social media space and the lives as it relates to women. And today isn't going to be an exception because you're right on time. The show has just begun and we've been joined with our guest. Before I introduce her, let's quickly take a look at what we'll be looking at today. Now, there's been an increased case of bullying, especially in schools where kids are kept for learning purposes. Only so a few weeks ago, the social media was washed with a case where a secondary female student of the lead British school, Gwarimpa, was caught on camera assaulting their classmates. Now, the victim, identified as Bwala Namtira Daniel, was seen slapped repeatedly by another female student while asking who broke my heart, in quotes. Well, let's take a look at that video, and when we return, we'll have our guest who is already in the studio with us do some analysis.
She's proud of what she did. You're proud of what you did. You're proud, right? Somebody's child, innocent child. You beat her. Did you give birth to her? Did you give birth to her? Did you give birth to her? I'm asking you, did you give birth to her? Did you give birth to her? Hold on. Yes, that is the guy. Oh, she don't want somebody's side. She's beating.
And I'm sincerely sorry for what I did to Namtira. I'm also apologizing to all you people outside. I'm sincerely sorry. I wish this never happened.
Well, viewers, you've seen that. Will you allow your child get slapped in that manner? Any left, right, center? Well, our guest today is no other person than a woman leader, Green Assembly Initiative, Mrs. Adebayo Belema. She'll be giving us justice to this. Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Hope
how
you're
are you?
good.
Good evening.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
How's the economy treating you? Getting fuel, the scarcity of fuel, and life?
It is terrible, but we are pushing through, hoping for better days.
I don't think that hope in itself, it's good to hope, but sometimes it just seems as if Nigerians get used to easy with new changes, especially when it's bad in a way.
But we have been promised a change in the coming weeks, so...
Really?
Yes.
Well, this change started since May from last year.
No, I think the change started from the previous administration.
Exactly, the change mantra.
Still, we cannot give up on our dear country, Nigeria. Can we now?
No, we
it's
can't.
either we keep hoping or we japa.
Cool. And japa shouldn't be an option. Right?
Exactly. So we keep hoping for a better Nigeria then.
Indeed. Well, you read, you saw my intro, or you listened to my intro, and then you watched the video. Now, this case of bullying has been on social media space since last 2 weeks, going to a month already, where the issue of Namitra happened, where she was bullied in school. And after then, we saw other videos surfacing online as to how children are being bullied. This is not the first case. We've often seen these things, and it's been ongoing. So do you think that perhaps there's something we are not looking at in our institutions? Perhaps maybe you could imagine a lady bullying another child, another lady or girl child in school. Okay, so and I know some people have blamed it perhaps on the parents, that if it's their child, they will not like perhaps take such kind of a thing. They would revenge or retaliate almost immediately. So what's your take?
First off, that video was very disheartening. I cringed just, imagining being hit repeatedly for absolutely nothing, because I don't see any justification why somebody would want to strike another person. You're not their parents, you're not even the teachers should have that level of right to exercise such rights over a child. And it's sad that we send our children to school, and that we hope that they are going there to learn to be better people, and then to be treated like that, it just takes away the safety of the school from you. You are now scared. I have a child that will be going to school anytime from now, that's starting school, and seeing that video, it just like made me feel so scared, worried. It's, for me, watching that young lady, she showed a lot of self-control, restraint, and I applaud her parents for teaching her to have such morals. But then, looking at it from another angle, you're like, she probably should have defended herself. She probably should have stood up for herself, done something, say, stop hitting me, call out for help or something. Sitting out there and just taking it, I don't think that I will show such level of restraint, even with all the patience I think I have and self-control. But yeah, I still feel like the school and the parents of the other girl who bullied or who hit the students, they have a lot of work to do. I have issues with schools who have very big name, or they have a very big name, and then they are more focused on publicity than actually raising decent citizens or students, or instilling morals in them. So for me, I feel like the school, they have neglected a lot. Maybe the girl didn't even feel like it was a safe place for her to go and report, because it's something that has been happening in the school and no action has been taken. So I feel like the school needs to do more in instilling good morals in their students. Do you get? That's what I feel. And then I feel like also parents should teach their children not to be violent, but to stand up for themselves.
Okay, talking about that, these days you see so many parents are kind of teaching their children how to, fight this karate and kung fu and all that.
Self-defense.
Self-defense. Are you in consensus with that?
I wouldn't say that I would send my child to learn karate for the purpose of fighting against somebody else, because I am strongly against any sort of violence, physical attack or fighting. But in the time that we are right now with insecurity, it is very, very important, paramount that even as an adult, you should know some form of, your child could be anywhere, anything can happen. The fact that they have those skills, be it karate, be it whatever, just any form of self-defense, can really change what can happen in 2 seconds, as to defending themselves or being in the know of how to call for help. It's just like knowing CPR can save a life. So I feel like those things, with the way the world is right now, that it's important. If a parent wants to want their children to undergo such trainings, I totally agree with that.
Okay, now you made mention of the school perhaps maybe teaching some morals, and in my head, let me be the devil's advocate. Like, don't talk to us, talk to the parents. They should teach their children morals, because although the children tend to spend almost all the day in school, but they still go back home. So maybe the learning of morals should come from the parents.
True. Parents are the foundation. And it's from there that good habits are inculcated. But however, it takes a village to raise a child. As parents, we can only do so much. And parents is focus more on providing for their kids, giving them what they think they need, what they think they want, than what they really need. So yes, the foundation of her upbringing is already faulted. It's already, it's wrong. But then, sending her to a good school, in quote, a good school, you would also expect that this child is spending probably a lot of time in school, and there are teachers that are trained in counseling, in other subjects as well, to guide them morally. You would expect that these teachers are able to see some flaws that the parents might have an oversight. Because children these days, they are quite difficult. They portray one thing at home, they portray another in school. So that's why we need the assistance of teachers to be able to say, oh, I noticed this in your child. Can we work together, parent and teacher, to help them to overcome these flaws? So in as much as the foundation of that child is questionable, like, how did you let your child get to this point where they feel like it's right? What were the things that this child has witnessed at home? Is there violence going on in the home? Is it something that, is it a norm? Teachers should also play their part in noticing in a classroom, this child is prone to this behavior, and be able to tackle it and help the parents to raise them upright.
You mentioned earlier that the victim of the bully, that's the girl who was bullied, she would have, stand up for herself, like, saying something and not just tolerate everything.
Yes.
Now, if victims of bullying should stand up for themselves, do you think the bully will reduce or it will get worse?
I think if more people speak up for themselves, if more people are, stand up for themselves to say, I'm not going to tolerate this, I feel like bullying is going to reduce. Because I think that person is preying on you because they assume that you are weak. So if you can tell them, I am not, even if you are being beaten down, you stand up and say, I'm not going to take this anymore. They are going to, you notice that them are a bit scared. What's that giving you the courage to say you can't take this anymore? And people that are bullied, I think it speaks of what kind of person that they are inside. They are not very confident with themselves, so they need to pick on another person to be able to feel better about themselves. So the minute that you can say, I'm not taking this anymore, I feel like if we do a lot of that more often, we'll be able to reduce the level of bullies that we have out there.
Okay, let me now come in terms of punishment. Now, I've seen teachers who they often get perhaps attacks by parents that, oh, why would you flog my child? Why would you hit my child? Why would you punish my child in a certain way? Reports them to me. I remember then in school, I was given this instance, I said last week, where and you also mentioned the fact that it's training is a community thing and not just for one person. Then in school, the mistake you would make is for you to allow yourself as a child to be reported by your parents in school or to the principal, because they'll bring you out
in public and humiliate you.
Yes, humiliate you, put you on the decks, flog you whatever way, maybe 20 strokes of cane and the rest. You see, so that way you see children behaving in the best manner possible. But these days, it is in this generation, I hear that parents will say, no, don't flog my child. So how best do you think what best solution should we offer in terms of punishing a child, yet not perhaps punishing perhaps in the wrong way or something? Well,
like I said, I have a baby, and I don't think I'll be very pleased if anyone wants to flog my son for any reason. I think I'll be very upset.
Okay. And you also say that earlier you said that children these days are stubborn. So
they have the mind of their own. I don't know, these days these children we are giving birth to it, I don't know, they come ready for the world, and they have, regardless of whatever it is you're going to tell them, social media plays a huge impact. Technology plays a huge impact on what they learn. That's why it's advisable to always be careful of what your children take in, because they learn very fast. However, on the issue of discipline, okay, so for me, beating, flogging, any form of physical punishment, in those days it might have yielded some results. However, I don't think it can work so much these days. So I would advise some form of counseling. It's okay if parents want to strike their children by themselves. It's okay if a teacher reports and say, this is what your child has done at school. Let's come to terms with some form of punishment that would help straighten this child up. Earlier I talked about counseling. And then if the parents want to give the child punishment at home, it feels better coming from a parent to a child than being publicly humiliated in front of your peers. You lose self-confidence. They might start having, double personality. Be one person in front of the teacher, be another person behind, because they want to portray to you what you want to see. So I feel like having decent conversations with these children, figuring out the entry points of this misbehavior, what prompted it, also using the scriptures. I totally believe in God a lot, and admonishing these children from the scriptures, and also allowing their parents to take first-hand, be the ones that discipline them if it has to do with any kind of physical punishment. For me, that's a better route to take.
But then you agree with me that what works for this child might not work for the other. counseling might work for this, but counseling might not work for.
And not every Nigerian believes in this thing called counseling.
Right.
Good. So I can only speak from my standpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes.
All right. Now, one issue, because when that case came up, you see that it was from, like, perhaps it was captured through CCTV. So one would not be too sure if maybe the child had gone to report to the parents or not, but it was something that was addressed through CCTV, and we saw that via the cameras. So most children will be like, oh, my parents, I cannot tell my parents, I cannot disclose my parents, my mom does not have time, my dad does not have
Exactly.
time. We see that currently in the society.
True.
So how best do you think parents can now raise their children in terms of training and discipline for the child that is the victim? Okay, some will not tell their parents, they'll just keep it to themselves. For the one who is the perpetrator of the acts, okay, you see some evidence of bad home bringing. It means also the parents are not in the know of what kind of child they are already raising. If she can do that in a school to her own pair, okay, it means she has some lots buckled up in her.
True.
So how best can parents raise up their children, especially in a time where we're fighting with the economy, things are hard, you want to hustle, the mom is out there, the father is out there. How best?
Busy.
Okay. First of all, we need to try as parents to make our home a safe place. Love within your home cannot be overemphasized. Children are a reflection of what they learn, especially what they see from their parents do. If you as a dad have a habit of striking the mother or being aggressive in your tone, verbally or physically, they are going to pick up the habits, regardless of what you think you're shielding them from. You know, they can perceive that there is no peace in the home. The first step is to make your home a safe place. Yes, the economy is really bad, but one parent has to do the sacrificing. They can come to understanding that I'll do more of the work and you do more of the staying at home. And through this, you'd be able to know your children. You can't know them 100%. But that friendship at home, sitting down to have conversations, telling them about yourself, it's another way of helping children to open up. When they see that you're not a stiff person, they feel more comfortable to be relaxed to talk to you. And then your reaction also to things, it's a problem. So when your children come to tell you something and your first line of approach is yelling or being extremely shocked or being scared or overly worried, you know, then your child will show some restraint in telling you things that happen to them. So we need to show emotional maturity, intelligence when dealing with children. As parents, we need to be able to handle information maturely when we receive them, so as to create that trust and friendship within children and parents. And also, even the father has a role to play. Yes, you're working from, let's say, Monday to Saturday, but those few times that you're home, help your children with their assignments. Ask them what they're facing in school. Talk to them. Tell them who are your friends, who is not your friend. Subtle, smart questions, you know, that you engage your children in. Play sports with them. Make them feel like daddy and mommy got me. In that way, they'll be able to come back home and say, Daddy, I didn't have such a good day at school today. You know, but when your children come home and you're always busy, you feel, again, like I said earlier, that then you need to give them financial support more than the emotional support that they need. They are going to just see you as a money bag, you know, for lack of better words. So, but you know, taking out time, play sports with them, read books with them, watch a movie with them, create family time, make your home a safe place. Then your children will feel better to come home and tell you if they faced, you know, any difficulty outside.
Let me ask, have you been bullied?
Nah.
Okay.
Okay, because there's this kind of perhaps call out on social media for those people who have been bullied, then they tag this person bullied me that year, this person bullied me that year. So we're ensuring to ask people if they have been bullied so that we can call out those people.
Trust me, if anyone had bullied me, I would have told you.
I was quiet in school. I was always an introvert.
Okay.
Nobody bullied me.
Same here.
Nobody could bully me. All right, viewers, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll move on to our second discussion for today. A very interesting discussion, I must say, so do not go nowhere.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black.
In a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Continuing live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning, the Blueprint newspaper,
Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecast, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on Startimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on KAFTAN TV. Stay connected with us.
That he said it is a reason why I will not do it.
I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, KAFTAN TV.
A very tricky one. And then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, KAFTAN.
Please, girls, let's be fast with our chores. It's almost time for Engendered. Girls, it's time for your favorite program, Engendered.
Yeah, Mommy, we're coming right away. Sophia, turn off the gas. What are your fears as a woman? And what are your doubts as a lady? You think you're alone with those thoughts? Then welcome to Engendered, where we'll bring you discuss, interviews, previews, experiences, opinions on issues relating to the female gender. This is Engendered.
Welcome back, esteemed viewers. If you just joined us, this is the Engendered show, and we'll be moving straight to the second topic for today, which says preparing for marriage, expectations from ladies of today's generation. That's the Gen Z generation. Now let me read something here. It goes forth, red flag along the way. I'm so afraid of the youth of this generation. Many are not preparing enough to enter into marriage. Many are very shallow in their knowledge of marriage. They prepare more for the wedding day than for the marriage life. No deep studies on what marriage entails. They are too hasty and not ready to sit down and learn the principles of marital life. Many ladies are not qualified to be wife, even at 28. They can't cook properly. They are used to fast food, the eateries, ice cream, indomie, spaghetti, and all that. And they spend 6 months studying the wedding gowns and the accessories for the bridal trays. And yet, they want to marry. My dear sister is 26, but she is still not yet a wife material. She is beautiful, she can cook, she cannot cook. She is not spiritually strong in prayers, and she has a shallow knowledge of the word of God. Now, how would she withstand the spiritual challenges that comes against every home now? How would she take her stand in the word of God against every wiles of the devil that blow against every Christian home now? Too materialistic and very little knowledge of home management. Wow.
Please, I want to ask you a question first. Confidence. Do you think this statement itself it's biased? Because that's the attack against Mike Bamiloye, the clergy.
Okay. What's the question again?
Do you think he's biased? Did you go through it? Yes. So
I listened.
Did you think he was biased?
Not really.
Okay. Confidence.
Okay.
No.
So now, let's face reality. Should there be expectations in marriage? Not these unrealistic expectations from the ladies on this Gen Z's generation. Should there be expectations in marriage? And what should these expectations be?
Okay. So please, I'm only just new in this marriage thing, so I'm gonna talk based off what I've learned and what I'm experiencing.
All right.
If I'm wrong, older people in marriage will not bite my head off.
Okay.
So I think generally, to be very honest, everyone enters marriage with some sort of expectation.
Okay.
There should be expectations in marriage.
Okay.
You would expect to be married to a kind person, wouldn't you? You expect to marry someone who is understanding. You expect to be married to somebody who can provide. In terms of financially, physically, you would expect to be friends with your partner. You would expect to have serve God together with your partner. And many more expectations that comes with marriage is understanding, faithfulness, you know. Now, the issue is not those expectations.
Okay.
The issue that's the clergy was talking about, the clergyman was talking about, are the unrealistic expectations of the women in our generation. I think back in the day, marriage had less unrealistic expectations. The expectations of marriage back in the days was stiff.
Very, very.
You meet a fine girl, tell your kinsmen, they go to our family, they get her for you. There was no, I want to get to know you and fall in love with you first. There was no, you have to take me out on dates, shopping, etc. She sabi cook. Our family today is to give birth to many male children.
Especially divorce.
Yes. Is she humble? And then you're married.
That's it.
Many of our parents didn't really know what love is. They didn't marry for love. They started to learn to love their partners within the marriage.
So we're even betrothed to each other.
Good.
Yeah.
But now time has passed. Now people place more value on the physical aspects. So something he said there. They place more importance. I might be wrong. You know, I'm not. It's called so they place more importance on the wedding ceremony than the actual marriage. That's a very deep statement, and it's true. People are not carried away with the glamour, the glitz, the attention, the trend that comes to being married. People are more concerned with having the picture perfect partner than actually having a good partner. I keep saying to my friends, do not go for a rich man, go for a kind man. There is a huge difference. But somebody who's not knowledgeable will not see the need to know the difference. Most importantly, there is no marriage without God as the foundation. And many people in my generation do not place any value on having God as the foundation of a marriage. You would experience so many things. If you are marrying because I see my partner, he looks so attractive, we look good together, he has money, you would realize that those things do not even count in marriage. I think what, as a woman, that I am married now, I think the things that matter to a man, and I'm talking about a good man, because there are people who are just, a good man who wants a woman who is submissive. And this is not in terms of you being a fool.
Exactly.
A woman who is submissive, respect cannot be overemphasized. You need to have deep respect for your husband. It's said in the Bible. It is also applicable in life experiences.
Vice versa.
Yes, yes. But now we are talking from the human aspect now, right? That's a question. What's expected from women, as regards to marriage in our generation, right? So women are supposed to have deep respect for their husband. They are supposed to love their husband. They are supposed to be understanding. And I think it is very imperative for you to have something financially doing as a woman to support your home. Even if you're going there to marry a rich man, it's not all going to be rosy. There are times that you need to step up to the plate and support while the chips are down. So if it's not 9 to 5, it might be a business. Have something doing to support your household. It's also good, like you said, to be a good cook. And if you don't know how to cook, it's okay. Be open to learn. Your partner can also know how to cook. Be open to learn. Companionship, honesty, And then I think we should place more value on things that are more important. Like we should go beyond looking at the physical, how my partner looks. The things that we see as important are the things that God considers as important. God considers the heart as important. So maybe that person that you think that is the one for you, you need to go down on your knees and pray. And ask God, is this your will? Is this your perfect will for me? And then afterwards, have conversations with elderly people who have had good marital experiences, who are not biased, and have something to teach you about marriage.
Okay, so I just want to ask you, I know that the topic is about women, but why do you think it's majorly so much expectations from women? Now, another thing, that's one. He said, according to Mike Bamiloe, he says, too materialistic and very little knowledge of home management. The other time, a friend of hers was going to her husband's house. She went with a big book of cookery, which was published in UK. Unfortunately, there was no recipes for the cooking of Nigeria food. Then I was told she downloaded some applications on her Android phone on how to cook. She spent several months preparing for wedding day, but few moments to study what marriage life is. If love is blind at courtship, it says marriage that will open the blind eyes. So I'm talking about now the aspect of cooking. Now you said one must be open to learning. So it does seem as though before you can marry, there's this yardstick of knowing how to cook, except I do not get it right.
Okay, so maybe it's exaggerated a bit. Cooking isn't one person's duty,
right?
But yeah, we are Nigerians, and it's our culture, it's our tradition. We can't throw that away, regardless of how we, times change for us and we develop and all of that. It's still our fundamental roots is the fact that a woman must know how to cook, clean. You must be homely. You can't dress a certain way, Now, for me, I don't think those values should be thrown away. But we shouldn't be restricted to those values. Now, like I said earlier, if you don't know how to cook, it's fine. Again, it depends on who you get married to. For me, I don't think anyone has the right to judge somebody. If your husband is okay with it, that some people, the wife knows how to cook, the husband knows how to cook. I know of a person who he says he's a better cook than his wife, so he prefers to cook the meal and stock in the fridge, and then she just does the warming and serving. Who are we to say otherwise? In that home, so if you're saying, by the way he's saying it now, that you need to know how to cook, that means that woman is not a good wife. What of the other values that she has aside cooking? What if the man is a stay-at-home? The wife is 9 to 5. She has a better career. Are you expecting the man to go to work all day and still come back and cook? if the man is comfortable with doing this, I don't think it's anything so appalling, you know. I think it's okay. It's all about understanding. It's all about, you know, that's why it's what do you expect. You need to have realistic conversations about what you both expect from each other as a party. So you don't come into the marriage and be shocked at the realization of what marriage really is. So when you have these honest conversations without third parties about your realistic expectations, all of these things can be understood and managed.
Still talking about marriage. These days there are so many people that are being pressured to get married. What's your advice for them?
Calm down.
Right.
Calm down. There's this Ashanti, I think she's 41 and she's just pregnant now. There is no
deadline.
Right. I permit me to mention a name. One of our actresses, Dominic.
Yeah.
She only just got married recently. Do you see how happy she is? Again, in Africa, when you clock in 25, your mother is asking you, Agbi, what is going on? She's calling the pastor to pray for you. They are trying to match you with any and everybody. They are saying, you get what I'm saying? The pressure is a lot. And sometimes it is also put the pressure on our own selves. My friends are getting married. I'm the only one.
Remaining single.
I believe that it's a set time that God has, you know, placed for everyone for beautiful things to happen in their life. If you tend to rush it because of desperation or pressure from family, friends, your own self, your peers, we all make mistakes. So I think my advice is to anyone who's out there, it's difficult to be lonely. It's okay. God created Adam and he created Eve as a companion because that's what he desired for us. So it's okay to feel lonely, to need that person in your life. But marriage is a big step. It isn't one that you just rush in because you want to be in it. It is something that you pray. You get to know your partner. I'm stressing this thing with my eyes closed. Get to know the person that you want to do forever with.
But you can't know a person like totally.
That's why I said conversations about realistic expectations would help you to understand. That's again one of the issues. We need to enter. That's why I said people need to calm down. You need to enter marriage with the mindset that I am ready. Do you know what it means to be ready? So when you start a business, that business is not going to flourish boom from day one. It will have its ups and downs. Are you going to quit because in the beginning they not tell you that this business is going to have this issue, or Nigeria will change and dollars will rise and it will be like this? That's similar to marriage. There are things that even upon knowing your partner for dating for 5 years, 6 years, once you enter the comfortability of marriage, it's like a war, it's like a battlefield. Then you start to see different things that spiritually, you know, physically, those things that we were attracted to that was so moving to you, maybe the way he smiles, the way he might not even have time to be taking out on all those dates anymore, all those things that, you know, he used to do just to try to woo you. You know, are you going to opt out? You would opt out because you are ready. You have said, I want to do life with you. You've taken your vows seriously, the vows that you made in presence of God, that I want to be married to this person. That way, you are in the know of the realistic expectations that you both have for each other, and you can come together and discuss that you've made these changes. You know, it's not always going to be rosy, but when you're ready, when you have the mindset, and again with God as your foundation, you would stick by your partner. So that's why you don't need to rush without being fully aware of what it is that you're going into.
I mean, when you rush in, you rush out.
Indeed. All right, and let's talk about, earlier you mentioned submission as one of the core things one has to perhaps have in your mind, that, oh, this is it for a man, you have to submit. But I always love to ask, submission, love, which one comes first? Because the Bible says, wife, submit to your husband. Husband, love thy wife, right? But which comes first for you?
In relationships, I can say love is what we talk most about. But in a marriage, from the Bible standpoint, submission comes first. This is what God teaches us or requires of us as wives towards our husband. and it says the husband should love the wife as Jesus loved the congregation.
The reason why I'm asking that question is because naturally, when a man perhaps possesses this act or purchases act of love by maybe giving, it depends on your love language. Naturally, you're going to submit to that man, right?
Yes.
So why shouldn't it be that way? Let the man love first, then naturally he gains respect.
But that's how it's. Who said it's not that way?
But it's seeming like the Bible says it came first. Submission came first. Than love.
Okay, just because the Bible says women should submit first doesn't mean that okay, so that's let's be realistic, right? It's like me or you. When a man comes to you and treats you nice, these things just flow. Right? So let's be practical. You expect a woman to submit, but if you don't treat her right, you wouldn't get that submission.
Okay, so why I'm asking the question is because people get it mixed up. Now they'll say, you, especially from the older women those days, they'll say whether he's good to you or not.
That's what I said. That's why I said marriage the back days was very stiff. And we don't normally now people don't get the right orientation about marriage. You can see a lady suffering from domestic violence and she reports to her family. They are more important in you cannot leave your husband or a cheating man. They'll tell you want to leave for another man to come in. Are you even worried about the mental stress and the ordeal that this person is going through? You are more interested in her keeping her home regardless of her hurt or how she feels. So it's as if there is more burden on us to make that home right, regardless of how we are treated. Again, that's why I said you need to be careful of the kind of person that you are going into the thing called marriage with, because if people both have realistic expectations, they know you know them as much as you can before marriage, you will know the kind of person that you're getting married to and what to expect. If you're married to a kind man, it's only natural that yes, there are times that he will hurt you, but he would look back, probably see the sign on your face, the change in your body language, and then he will realize that I have hurt my wife. And then he will treat you right, and that submission, the loyalty, the respect would just flow naturally. We are humans. You can't force things when things are not right.
Talking about submission, a woman can only submit to a man that she loves, right?
Yes.
So I think both go sideways.
Yes, it goes. You know what I'm saying. But in the olden days, though, it wasn't that way. There was nothing like love. You just had to bend down for the man.
He's your Lord.
You just have to bend down for him. So but times have changed. But the things that cannot change is that you need to treat your partner right.
All right, now let me ask this question. Earlier you made mention of cheating, divorce. Now, I've often heard people say that because your partner cheated on you doesn't mean you should divorce the person. And one statement, I'm sure the reason why the clergyman Mike Bamley brought this out because of the increasing rate of divorce in society. And he made mention of it. He said they are rushing in and being taught how to rush out. So it means that at the tail end of his statement, he said that is there need for patience, be patient. Is there need for endurance, endure with prayers and doing the right things. It has an end. Is there need for you to look inward for things you ought to do, prayerfully look inward. So now this part telling us that there shouldn't really be divorce, should really be a last resort, but this day it just seems as though divorce is just the first thing you have to do. So do you think, back to my question, cheating and divorce, like do you need to leave as a woman or a man because you were cheated on?
Wow, you're putting me on the spotlight.
I'm so sorry, but please answer.
Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with myself. I believe in forgiveness a lot, but I also believe that there's a limit to what people can take.
Exactly.
And there's something called unrepentance. People are unapologetically. So, if you have a spouse that you've exhausted all line of, conversations, let's work on it, and they are just disrespectfully cheating on you, after all, the Bible says the ground for divorce is adultery. So, if the man has embarrassed you to the point that he has stained your whites, and that stain is not leaving the whites, and he keeps adding more oil and, you know, stains to the whites, if you want to leave the marriage, who are we to downplay what you are experiencing and say, oh no, keep staying? There are so many things that can go wrong while staying with a cheating spouse. You know, you start to lose yourself. There are risk of STDs. You know, when the home is not happy, how can the children feel safe? So if the woman is no longer happy, she doesn't feel safe with her husband, he has decided that he's going to keep doing these things without feeling remorse or seeing a reason why he needs to stop, then it's okay for her to divorce.
So what about the for better, for worse? It has nothing to play.
Is that one not worse?
Yes, for better, for worse.
You're going to stay.
Okay. That one is worse. It's worse.
But don't you think sometimes women should, because don't you think women should pay sometimes a blind eye to these things?
To what?
Because I sometimes I ask, yes, the cheating. Yeah. Sometimes I also hear that men, it's hard for men to forgive. They also walk out. Yes, they walk away, and sometimes you want to forgive someone, but you don't forget it because the pain comes back.
True.
And the rest. So, but sometimes if you pay a blind eye as though it didn't happen or something, you're not seeing it. Because I know a woman can be strong to that extent if she wants to be, right? As though she's not saying. Are you saying in those days our mothers did not know that men, their husbands were, they even brought the women home, they married like 5, 6, 7, 8 wives at home and they had concubines?
Follow through. Listen, if you heard what I said embarrassing, disrespectful, obvious cheats. I don't believe in looking through my partner's phone to go looking for what is not missing in my life, which is crying and, you know, tears and pain. Because I feel like if you go looking through a man's phone, when you know you see obvious signs, that you're going to see what you're not supposed to see. I believe in respect comes with trust. So I believe in trusting my partner and respecting his privacy as much as he respects mine. And so I'm not going to go hunting, checking things, following him, stalking him on social media, see who he's following, going to his workplace, looking at the female staffs, you know, questionably. The people that I'm referring to are those ones that make it obvious to their wife that, look, I'm cheating. It's not a polygamous home, right? So you saying that back in the days, our mothers, they were confident. That's why I said marriage then was a bit stiff. Not to the modern woman, not to the Gen Z woman. So when a Gen Z woman, she stands on her right. She stands on business. She knows her worth. And she wants to be treated as something valuable because she brings value. So that's a good woman, of course. So when she's giving you all of that and you steady disrespect her, you know, make it obvious to her that you're having extramarital affairs, it's disrespecting. It's hurtful. You know, like I said, I love forgiveness. I'm an advocate of forgiveness. If the man is willing to change, right, marriage can be saved. No one is perfect. Good. But the cases where I say divorce can be a means, can be the last resort of the marriage, to end the marriage or to end the hurt in marriage, is the cases where the man has refused. He has obvious girlfriends. He disrespects you by picking their calls in your presence. He's out weeks, late nights with them. At this point, you've taken away the sanctity of your marriage. You've taken away the happiness of your marriage. You have disrespected your wife and made her lose, because you don't know what this thing does to a human. It makes you wonder, am I too fat? Am I ugly now? Especially when they've had kids for you. They start to ask themselves, do things, and then there's a social media aspect. Don't forget that. That presents a false narrative of what women should look like. So when your wife is dealing with that and you're not making her feel safe at home, you're creating an unhappy home. You're creating an unhappy woman. And if she comes to you and tells you that I realize that you're doing this and you are unrepentant about it, if she decides to walk out of that marriage, who are we really to say no? It is for better, for worse.
Thank you, Mrs. Adebayo Belema, Woman Leader, Green Assembly Initiative. You've really done a great job. I want to support you by advising and advocating that perhaps you begin a counseling school.
Right.
Really?
You give me too much credit, but thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Really impacting.
Thanks for your contribution.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, that's the much we can take this beautiful evening. Like she said, Mike Bamiloye is not wrong in totality. Like he said, if there is need for patience, you should be patient. Marriage is all about patience. Relationship is all about patience. If there is need for endurance, you should endure in almost sense, right? Endure. And if there is need for forgiveness, forgive. All right. So marriage is all about forgiveness. Until we come your way next time, I remain your humble host, Victoria Agbi.
When you rush into marriage, you rush out. Yes,
hey,
love is blind, but marriage life will open your eyes. Many thanks for joining us on the Engendered show today. Till we come your way again, I am Confidence Reuben.
Bye.
Bye.